Disclaimer time. This is where I tell everyone to lighten up. It's just a podcast. Trading is like that roller coaster at the amusement park. Thrilling, unpredictable, and potentially stomach-churning. What works for one person might leave another clutching their hat in the wind. Our hosts and guests, they're awesome, knowledgeable, full of insights, but we're not financial advisors. So don't rush to make any investment decisions based solely on our banter. Always consult with a professional or do your own research. Plus, let's face it, we like to have fun, laugh, enjoy the trading ride together. It's all in the name of good podcasting fun. So remember, take it easy, don't bet the farm, and keep your seatbelts on at all times. Thank you for listening. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the China Shop, home of the Band of Traders. I am your host, Kyle, and joining me today is Niels Koops. Did I say that right? I messed it up.
That's all right,
You just told me to. Koops, I knew that. Niels Koops.
Okay.
Niels is a 14-year market veteran and the founder of Tradrr.com, and that's Tradrr.com. No E's allowed here. Before we kick off today's conversation with Niels, let's get the promotional stuff out of the way. So, Niels, where can people find more about you and learn more about the platform you developed?
Yeah, so it's Tradrr.com without the E, so it's Tradrr.com. And yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Do you have any socials or anything that you guys post on?
Yeah, it's also at Tradrr. Also at Tradrr. Yeah. So my Instagram, Tradrr.
Instagram, huh?
Instagram. Yeah, it's also actually on YouTube. It's also with the same username, so you can also do that.
Oh, good. You have a YouTube too. Oh, nice.
But I'm not super active yet, so we're gonna do that soon. Like I tried it because I just like recently looked at my YouTube and I saw like a video from the ES showing footprint charts from 11 years ago or something. I'm like, wow, I uploaded that. I'm like, okay, that's been a while. I forgot about that. So that was kind of funny. But like, yeah, I'm gonna try to do that again, because like, it works really well. So
it's just so much time, isn't it? Especially the video side of it.
Yeah, and so you said like 14 years, right? But it's almost in May. It's 15 years already now.
Wow.
So yeah, time flies. Time really flies.
Let me get my stuff out of the way here first, and then let's start milking that.
Yeah.
If anybody has any suggestions or questions or corrections that they want to send in, please do that via email at bandoftraderspodcast@gmail.com, or you can join our free Discord server, or just DM us on Twitter at FinancialInept1. We'll have all those links in the episode description so you can peruse them at your own convenience. Now I think it's time we get to know Niels. So you said 15 years, huh? So like, take me back to the beginning there. Like, how'd you get started in the markets? What stoked your interest?
So mathematics always interest me, and things with numbers and I used to work in IT where I just ended up like, I had a side job when I was studying. So I was quit my study of mathematics because I was like, yeah, it's gonna take too long. I just want to do something, I was like, no. And so the side job that I had, which was like just in a warehouse, right? It was like a super simple student job. But for some reason, they asked me to come work at the office there in automation and like to work with computers there. And I'm like, okay, cool, sounds good. So I did that for a while, and I was like, yeah, this is also not really what I'm looking for. So.
Well, hey, what kind of automation were you doing? So I used to do some of that for industrial.
Yeah, doing like automations with like, how you call it, like stock control, like
PLCs, like Allen Bradley and
I don't know what it is. Sorry,
Siemens, that kind of stuff.
No, but I think they were trying to work with like handhelds and doing like order pickings with that, things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, things like that. And
gotcha.
And yeah, like, well, at the time it was nice, and it was in Amsterdam, and it's a nice location, and yeah. So at the time I was like, sure, let's do that. But yeah, so I did that for a while, and then I got like,
I'm gonna make a note. I want to go back to Amsterdam at one point here.
Oh yeah. So I lived almost half my life in Amsterdam. Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No worries. And so I did that. And I was like, yeah, this is not going to be my career the rest of my life. So I was like, I'll just quit and I'll start trading. So okay, let's figure it is. I knew pretty much nothing from trading. I had a friend in university.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him like, hey, I want to trade, like just like you, he did pretty well. So I paid him some money, and I sat next to him side by side, and he kind of showed me around, all the things like that. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll go do this. So right, so I was like, sure. So I opened up my account and stuff like that. I think at the time, like, what was that? I think it was Interactive Brokers. Yeah, Interactive Brokers.
That was pretty close to like the '08 crash then, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
like it was after. Yeah, yeah. It's because it was May '09, if
Yeah.
I remember
Okay.
correctly. So that's yeah May '09. Yeah, so that's almost 15 years. Yeah, so just started doing that, and I was like, cool. But the friend that I was training with, he had more friends that were trading, so we were kind of like a group that traded every day, and chatting away, and trying to help each other.
Hmm.
But they were mainly like stock traders, right? So
Okay.
they were trading stocks and like penny stocks and like the very high volatile stocks.
Yeah.
So it was, it was very interesting. And at the time, we were mainly trading stocks in France, because in France there were some stocks that moved a lot, and also with some volumes.
Hmm.
You could really trade it, not just see the pump, and then
Right.
so that worked pretty well. But it was very interesting, and yeah, so that was their thing, right? It was not yet my thing. I was just like, you know, joining your group, and just like
Yeah, you're in the information gathering stage at that point. You're just trying to learn, soak up.
kind of, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did that. But pretty soon after that, I because I don't remember how that happened, but like I got some interest in the ES, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, it's more technical,
Hmm.
in futures instead of stocks, and yeah, I want to tell you a nice story of how I found it, but to be honest, I don't remember. It's like almost 15 years ago. I just don't know. I really don't know.
It seems like everybody kind of starts with like the penny stocks or something similar with that.
Is
Now
it
it's crypto. A
really?
lot of people start out in crypto, it seems like.
Yeah, no, I guess crypto. Yeah.
Is it just the allure of the volatility? Like as the beginner trader, like you
I mean, I guess so. Yes. I mean, the thing is, like, you don't have $1 million, right, when you just
yeah.
start out. So you need to make some money with like a relatively small amount. So you
Hmm.
need to have stocks and or things that move quite a lot. Otherwise, you cannot make enough money. And you need to, like, let's say, for example, like, if you have, well, I don't plan to name numbers, but let's say you have like
Say like $500 or something.
okay, let's do
Some people
that.
start with like 500. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, let's do it like $1,000, like, for example, like that.
yeah.
If you want to make $1,000, you need to make 100%, right? So
Right.
that's interesting, like, because no one will. Well, you can, but like, usually it's like involves some high risk things that you have to do. So not really like
Right.
sustainable, probably.
No.
So yeah, good luck doing that with like a relatively small amount and then trying to make a living from it. Like, it's pretty much impossible if you just like trade like Apple, or I don't know, Microsoft, or any other, like the most common stocks. You just can't, like, unless you're like super over
Hmm.
leveraged. But then, like, yeah, one little swing and you probably hit your margin call, right? So yeah, so
Right.
you just need some stocks that move a lot, in order to make a living of it. So that's kind of, I guess, what interests most people. Yeah.
Kind of curious, because you said you lived in Amsterdam. You were trading on like the French exchanges.
Yeah.
Where are you based out of now?
I'm based in Portugal. Yeah, at the beach.
And where?
Portugal. Yeah,
Portugal?
Portugal.
Oh, okay, Portugal.
Portugal.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, we pronounce it a little differently over
Oh,
here.
sorry. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I was like, is that a city or is that okay?
Yeah. I mean, English is not my first language as well. So sorry about that.
That's all right. No, I've heard Portugal's really, really nice,
It is.
and it's actually I've heard they've got a really big expat, like U.S. citizen community out
Yes,
there.
yes, exactly. Yeah, it's true. It's pretty big. It's yeah, a very open community, I'd say. I really enjoy it, and yeah, so it's been 2 years right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and I like surfing, surfing and kite surfing, and I live like at the beach here, so it's yeah, not too bad.
Oh God, yeah,
Terrible, right?
yeah. I bet they got some real nice beaches there.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Well, so tell me about some of the tell me about some of the big lessons that you learned in the beginning there that like still stick with you today. Like what's something that maybe painful
Oh man.
or maybe like just a really good experience. It doesn't have to necessarily be bad.
Well, I think most of them are bad, to be honest.
No,
But
yeah, I know.
yeah, right. So I started with like way too much money at once in the beginning, and yeah. So my first year, I pretty much lost everything. Yeah, that was kind of like a rough patch. I was like,
No. Yeah.
yeah, let's do this. We can do this. But then no, the market shows you some reality, and yeah, that didn't go so well at
Right.
all. So for sure.
What was your takeaways then? Sounds like risk controls or
Yeah. And I think the main point was also like not being so emotional, because I think I was in the beginning. And sometimes still am, but I know when I'm doing that and know how to like control it better. But I think mainly it was like me acting like emotional to things that the market was doing. Like I felt like it was doing it to me, right? Which is ridiculous. I know
Right.
now, but in the beginning, I
Like,
was
come
like,
take my stop. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because yeah, of course, like everyone has it sometimes, right? Like that they just tick your stop like at the tick, and it moves back in your way. I'm like how can you do that?
Right.
Like how is possible, right? Like it's like yeah, it's
Yeah.
unreal. But the reality is, sometimes it just happens, you know. Like yeah, it's just life. Like you move on. There's always another trade.
I try to write down when it happens against me, but also when it happens in my
Uh,
favor. Like when they stop a penny from my, from my stop, or when they hit my take
yeah,
profit, like to the tick and in reverse.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah,
I write those down too, because you need the balance. You remember the bad things
yeah.
so much more. Like what's the study?
Yeah, it's true. You
I
need
think
like
it takes,
one good thing against five, like
yeah,
yeah, five good things against one bad thing or something. Yeah,
yeah, something crazy like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. But
And then if you think about it from like the trading psychology
mhm,
aspect of it, like that adds up, right?
yes,
Because like a good traders win rate's probably going to be somewhere between like 40 to 50%. So that means you're building up a
I
lot of
mean, yeah, depends on your strategy, but yeah,
it-
could be, yeah,
if that's
yeah.
the case though, you're building up a lot of negative mental equity almost.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if your strategy is like to make a profit with a 40 to 50% win rate. Yeah, then you need to work on
Hmm.
that. Yeah, for sure.
What are some of the things that you did to get your emotions in check then?
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good question. I well, in the beginning, I did nothing. I just I got pissed at myself, and I'm sure at some point I threw like a plate on the ground. So that was not. I mean, yeah. It was not a good moment, but yeah. So after I kind of realized that that was not really sustainable, and I started to dive more into like meditation stuff like that. And
Hmm.
I got some coaching. I went to like some seminars. I had coaching through Anthony Robbins, and I went to like some
Okay.
seminars from that. And yeah, that to be honest, that really helped me to get my emotions more in check and like get my goals more clear and also my trades more clear because I went there to get my trading in check. So for me, that really
Hmm.
helped, to be honest. And Anthony Robbins, you probably know him.
I know the name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he
Yeah.
also makes people like walk on fire, and I also did that. I was like, "What? This is
Oh, that's
amazing!"
right. That guy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I did that.
Did you did the firewalk?
I did that. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I really did that, and it felt so unreal, right? It's like if you think about it, like it's like okay, whatever, like sure, you did that, sure, but I did that, and but the thing is, I was so like hyped up that I forget to wipe my feet in the end. You know, like so you walk over
Oh,
the hot coals, and in the end, like you have to wipe it because there could be like a coal left in your toe or
right.
something. But I forgot doing that, and I had the coal left in my toe, and it burned like hell. I was like, I made it all the way, and that little piece of coal like burned my whole toe. I'm like, Jesus.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. Yeah, but I did it.
I burned myself recently. It wasn't firewalking. It was taking a pizza out of the
Oh,
oven.
really?
I had the oven mitt and in one hand, and I had the pan in that hand, and I was trying to transfer the pizza from the rack to the
Yeah,
pan, but the pan had been sitting in there and was hot.
right.
And like I had the oven mitt on this hand, and I thought, oh, I'll just switch hands real quick and then scoop it on because this is my
Yeah.
good hand. So I switched it over to my bare hand, this 450-degree pan.
Oh no.
My wife just heard, she hears me in the corner of the room go, oh no, that's not good.
Right. Oh man.
Yeah, that was, I had blisters all along the inside of my thumb to the
Oh,
index finger, and then
that's
all, ooh, yeah, it was not a good one.
hurtful. Yeah, I can almost feel it.
Right. Yeah, those are the worst too, because then you can't take a shower for like a week
Oh
because the
yeah,
little bit of
yeah,
steam
yeah. That's not
in the
good.
shower burns.
Oh man. Oh yeah, yeah.
So are you trading mostly ES these days, or did you
Oh yeah, but I've been doing that most of my life, to be
yeah.
honest. So in the real beginning, like I don't know, like 13 years ago, when I switched like from stocks to futures, I was mainly still already mainly trading ES, but I was also just checking out other things,
Hmm.
right? So I traded like oil, gold. What else did I do? I did some European things like DAX. How you call it? Or Euro
Yeah.
stocks. Yeah, I tried a lot of things, you know, but
How's the liquidity on the European markets? Like, I always look at them
I
on.
mean, it's much lower.
Yeah.
It's much lower, of course. So the DAX, it's kind of crazy. It's super volatile with like very very little. The book is very very empty.
Mm-hmm.
So it could work in your favor or it could work
Right.
against you. Normally it went against you, but yeah. So I kind of avoided the DAX, but the Euro stocks was kind of in a way like more similar to the ES.
Mm-hmm.
Because the books were always full. There was like plenty of like contracts that you could like drop in, and so yeah, it felt more similar to yes. But to be fair, it's a very stupid reason, but I just don't like to get up that early.
Oh God, I
So
don't.
I just like to trade US because like I can like like get up a bit later,
With-
and that habit just like that just stayed. So now I solely trade ES. To be honest, I just trade nothing
I
else.
don't know how those people do it on the West Coast over here. They're getting up at like
Right?
5:30 to trade. Like, fuck
Yeah,
that.
I couldn't. I would trade like Europe maybe. Oh, no, that's even earlier. But I would trade like Asia or something then,
I was
just
actually
because.
giving that some consideration because I'm more of a night
Yeah.
owl, myself. Like,
Right.
I don't like getting
Right.
up early, but
Right.
I don't know. It just doesn't move the same way it does.
It
I don't know
doesn't.
how much of a
No.
learning curve it would be.
No. Exactly. That's very true. It's very true. Oh, but like you were right. So it's another thing that I changed. Like besides like working on myself, I was also like trading less different contracts. Like just focus on one
Hmm.
thing. That was one thing that I changed. And in the beginning, I was also trading like 24/7. I was at the desk. I made hours like you won't believe. Like it's like it made no sense. It made no sense. Like and right now I just usually trade like the open until like European close,
Hmm.
right? So like very limited trading hours, and I do much better. So yeah.
Are you more of a systematic type trader, or do you incorporate a lot of order flow or other like discretionary type things into your trading?
Yeah, so I use order flow, and that's I've been using it for a long time already. And oh, actually, we come on that later. I guess that's also why I created the software company.
Ah, okay, okay.
But yeah, so it's the footprint charts for me that I mainly use. I also look at the dome a little bit, but those two come and some volume profiles for the longer term.
Dom is a tough one for me. Like, I
Yeah,
try to learn how to read it, but
yeah,
it's too hard to not look at it when you don't need to be looking at it because it's very easy to justify a trade at
that's
any
true.
point just watching the Dom.
That's true. That's true. It's my like my final like trigger, I guess, so to
Okay.
say.
Yeah.
It's not what I watch the constantly, right? So the
Yeah.
what I mainly watch is the footprint. When it comes to levels that I previously set with my volume analysis of the day, but yeah, the dome for me is the trigger in the end. Yeah.
Hmm. Are you looking for like just responsive biddings, trap traders? Like, what sorts of things do you want to see?
Yeah, yeah, that too, and also when I see it's hitting volume, you can also see it on footprint kind of, but it's not moving, right? So like, you see like
Like absorption or
yeah, it's
yeah.
absorption,
Yeah.
exactly that. Yeah, and I try to lean against that.
Okay. I mean, that sounds a lot
Yeah.
like how Vico trades, which if you're over in Portugal, maybe I need to get you his contact information. Maybe you guys can go meet up somewhere.
Okay, yeah, I don't know who that is, but to be honest, I don't know a lot of people. But
He's another guy who trades in with Trade Pro Academy that we've worked with over the
oh, okay, nice,
last few years. Good guy.
cool.
He's like a walking algorithm.
Okay.
Meet a guy who has no emotions. It's
Oh wow.
nuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, for trading might be good,
So
but I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's a damn good
yeah.
trader.
Nice.
So you kind of hinted at the platform then. So you
Right.
said that
Yeah.
you created it.
Right.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So my plan was not at all to like create a software company at all.
Hmm.
So I think it's about 7 years ago now. Yeah. So when I was using Market Delta, I was developing an algorithm for myself, but I used their system to write it on. Right. So I was
Hmm.
like 90% done, and then I don't know if you remembered or even know Market Delta, but they just switched or they announced that they would be changing systems like 1 week in advance or something. It was super weird at the time, and I was like, "No, why are you doing this?" Like I wrote this specifically for the platform, and I had a lot of money in already to
Uh,
write that, and I was like, "Oh, are you kidding me? Like, no, this is not happening." And I was almost crying, I guess, but and then I was like, "No, no." And then it hit me like, "Hey, okay, so the thing is like Market Delta was like a white label product of Investor RT, right?"
hmm.
So InvestRT had I learned after had a agreement with Market Delta, so that Market Delta could like use the footprint on their platform and white label it as Market Delta. So when they changed to another platform, which well they did because there were some discussions with RT, and they were not friends anymore.
Yeah.
So I think they changed to a system that actually I'm not sure. I think it's like CQG or something, and they
CQG.
I think so, and that's what they started using after, which was something that my algorithm would not work on at all because it was written on the back end of IRT and Mark Delta. So after crying, my plan was like, hey, so I need a footprint, so because I
Yeah.
that's what I use, and so I'll build it for IRT, so I can use it the same way as I did with Market Delta. So
It's so much
um,
work.
right, and so I did that, and that's kind of how it started because I posted it I think on Twitter and on and on Futures.io, which it's named differently now, but
Hmm.
and that's it. And then a lot of people were like, "Oh, cool! I want this too." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I made a product out of it, and the rest is history. So it's super funny.
Okay.
Yeah,
Kind of funny
yeah.
how
So
that
it
works
was,
out.
yeah, it was crazy, and so it was running from day one, and I was like, "Okay, cool." It went pretty well. So I was just traveling and training from beaches all over the world. I'm like, "Okay, this is nice," and just enjoying life, and that was good. And that's basically, and at the time, like, I called it AMS Training Group, it was based in Amsterdam, and
Hmm.
that's where things started for me. And yeah, so it was like called the AMS Delta Print, so I didn't want to call it footprint because I didn't want to have any
Right.
legal issues also with potential legal issues with IRT or Mark Delta. And yeah, that's the start of how it began.
Did you have any like I don't know what, I'm guessing it wasn't smooth like starting this thing up, like when somebody says, hey, build me a, I have interest in this, and then you decide to go and turn it into a company, like
Yeah.
walk me through like that process, because making something for yourself
Yeah.
is a lot easier than making something that you're going to put out to the world.
Yeah, no, no, for sure. Yeah, it's been a long time though. Let me see. Um,
You can stick to the high points if there's
yeah,
anything
yeah,
that like
yeah.
sticks
So
out.
so I ended up like hiring someone on like I don't know, like Upwork or something like that,
Hmm.
and yeah, we worked together on building the whole thing, and then later we needed to add like the licensing, right? Because like yeah, first it was just for myself, and I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, we can make it into a product, sure.
Right.
So
Right.
then I found like a membership system that I wanted to use. So yeah, and then I asked him like, hey, can you integrate that into the app? And yeah, he could. He said so. A couple of weeks later, he like integrated it into the plugin,
Hmm.
and it was working. So yeah, so that was kind of it.
Wow, so it's actually pretty smooth, it sounds like then.
I mean, this is a short story. This is the short story. So okay, if you want the long story, I can tell you, but it's okay. Um, Before that happened with that developer, I had another developer that said, "Okay, I can make that also. Yeah, sure, let's do it." So he was like 95% done, and he sent to me. He said to me like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I like for religious reasons. I don't think I can work on financial products. I'm like,
What?
okay, cool. That's yeah. I was like, okay, cool. That's no problem. Like if that's the case, sure, whatever. Like no worries. So I told him like, hey, can you then just send me what you already have, and then we just go our own ways, right?
Right.
So I thought what he did was like he formatted his hard disk and didn't send it to me, and
What?
and there was
Why?
I don't
What was his objection?
I don't know. I think he was just scared about being judged about his religion or something that he did, and he wasn't sure about it.
Like,
I don't know. It was. I was like, "What? Are you kidding me? We worked on this for so long. I mean, and you just delete it? Like, what the hell?"
it sounds like he met Jesus at some point while he was coding
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. I guess so. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Um,
That sounds like
but
something that happened over here, not over in Europe.
yeah, it was. let's say I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to start over. So that was the real beginning. Yeah, that was very interesting. Yeah.
So you kind of told us about like why you had to develop this. Like, tell me like what's gone into it. Like, what makes it unique? What need is this filling for other people?
You mean specifically the footprint that I developed, or the new app? You mean?
Oh, the entire platform. Let's talk about the platform as a whole.
Oh, okay, yeah. So previously they were just plugins, right, for other platforms,
Mm-hmm.
and that was all nice and it worked well, and people liked it because like they liked the way I visualized it
Yep.
and things like that. So then I got the ambition to make my own platform. Silly me. And that was like it's now 3.5 years ago, and we still haven't released. We're almost about to release next month.
Mm-hmm.
So the estimation was 9 months to a year to develop this.
Oh man.
Yes.
So it wasn't smooth
No, it
sailing.
was not at all. It was not at all. No, no, no. I'm pretty sure I'm 10 years older now during this, and I probably lost some hair. Yeah. So, but the ambition was to make something that was our own, right? So we had a good plugin. People liked it, but we wanted to. Well, yeah, maybe a bit selfish, but I also wanted a platform that I can trade on my Mac,
Right.
right? On my Mac. So I'm a heavy Mac user,
Oh, okay.
and almost none of the platforms are working on Mac. You either has to use like Parallels or something like that, some kind of like thing that you can run Windows on.
Even Sierra Charts doesn't?
I don't think so. No, no,
I thought they had a Mac
they
version, but
do.
maybe they don't. Oh,
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't think so. But even if they had, I tried Sierra and it drove me nuts. But
Yeah, Sierra's
it,
its own mess.
yeah, it's too much for me, so I couldn't deal with that. So I didn't. But at the time, at least, when I did that, they didn't have a Mac version. Maybe they do have now. I don't know. But so I wanted to have like a platform that runs and with Rhythmic. So my preferred data feed is Rhythmic, and there,
Hmm.
as I know it, there is no like trading platform that runs Rhythmic
Okay.
or on the browser. Actually, we have also a browser version, and that doesn't exist at all. So
Hmm.
and I also had like a preference for Rhythmic because at the time, to be honest, I haven't been much on like social media stuff and all. I
Right.
haven't been up to date with all the trading groups and whatever. At the time, had this idea. There was no option to use like a data feed that had full depth except Rhythmic. So
Okay.
Rhythmic had full
Yeah.
depth where you can trade on, right? So I wanted full depth because I also was looking in the dome, right? So and I wanted to see where the orders were.
Yep.
So sometimes like if there in the ES was like 1,000 or 1,500 bit somewhere, I wanted to see it. I don't know why, I just wanted to see it.
Right.
So, but it was only possible on Rhythmic, so I always use Rhythmic, and yeah, and that's why this is the first data feed that we integrated. And it was very challenging to make it work on the web, to be honest. Super challenging. I guess why that's 3.5 years and not one. Anyway, yeah. So
Is that mostly the building of it, or is it the negotiating like all the different agreements to be able to like get the data feeds?
no, it's just the building. Like the
Really?
negotiation is easy. Like yeah, no, it's just building. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Longtime fans of the show should be familiar with the lender formerly known as Sue Pullen, and I'm pleased to announce that she's back, fresh off a rebrand and ready to help as Sue Mackey. Sue is a certified mortgage advisor at Fairway Independent Mortgage, an equal housing lender who focuses on finding the right product for you and your needs. She has over 20 years of experience helping thousands of homeowners. Whether it's purchasing, refinancing, or even a reverse mortgage, Sue will help. Sue's licensed in 36 states now, so reach out and let Sue Mackey it happen for you. The best way to reach her is just give her a call at 520-977-7904 or in an email, spullen@fairwaymc.com. Fairway Independent Mortgage has an MLS number of 2289. Sue Mackey has an MLS number of 206048. That email again, spullen@fairwaymc.com, and that phone number is 520-977-7904. Shoot Sue an email and let her know she needs to update that address.
But I also have a funny story about that. So, but anyway, so like I figured if I would like a Mac version, I figured more people would like that, right?
Yeah.
So because like yeah, but they already told me now, but yeah, so Mac is a big thing for me. But yeah, obviously we can have a Windows version as well.
You mentioned the browser version. I was curious because it seems like those are starting to get a little more popular these days. Like Top
Yeah,
Step
yeah,
is
yeah,
releasing
exactly.
one,
Yeah,
Trading View is kind of browser
Trading
based or
View, of
can
course.
be.
Yeah. Yeah,
That.
exactly. I think mainly because of TradingView and yeah, I think TradingView is pretty cool.
Hmm.
But they don't have like real tick data, right? So it's
Right.
not like raw tick data. So I know why.
They don't have level two.
um,
Yeah.
no, even that like so
Oh, really?
it's super heavy on performance,
Hmm.
right? So but yeah, we learned that that's the case, and that's probably why I don't have it. So yeah, we put in a lot of work in like getting the performance right. Because like a lot of platforms like they just like freeze, when the opening is or something like that, or
Yeah.
news.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so we wanted to avoid that. But since it's tick data, there's so much data coming in, right? That yeah, almost any platform like would have a hard time doing that, processing that. So and especially when it's on the browser, because like like you've like more limited resources because it's limited by the browser also sometimes,
Hmm.
and yeah, that makes it very challenging. And yeah, so we put a lot of work into that, doing that, getting it right.
Are there any other drawbacks to using the browser versus the applications? 'Cause it actually seems like some of the ones that I've tried out actually run. They seem to work faster or look faster.
I don't think they are faster per se.
Maybe faster than Sierra charts.
Maybe I don't know. Like it's been
Yeah.
like 10 years or so that I tried that, but yeah, and I'm not going back. But
Like I would have thought that like you'd have issues with like maybe some latency. Like it probably wouldn't. It'd probably be a little harder to use like algorithmic type stuff on there.
no, so that depends where your server is located. So
Hmm.
that depends on that. So for example, like how the way we integrated Rhythmic is like through a like a web API, right? So it's like direct from client to front end. So if you would do it otherwise and you want to have a browser version, for example, you need like a server somewhere in the world that processes it and then sends it to the front end. So
Right.
that's slower. That's
Yeah.
slower, and that is how we had it first. But yeah, so we realized that it's not going to be fast enough. So I think we had like maybe like 200 milliseconds or 300 milliseconds more delay.
Hmm.
And it's like, yeah, that's not going to be nice. So yeah, we kind of pivoted in using like that type of API to like like a web protocol thing. Yeah, so that's also very interesting. So we need to like change things up again. But yeah, so now it's fast and now it's good and now it's also works well in the browser. So yeah, that was definitely challenging. Yeah, for sure.
You said the release is coming up in the next month.
I mean, yeah, yeah,
That's the plan,
yeah.
at least.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, no, we're working very hard. Like I'm still like hiring extra people now to work on it. Yeah, this is a lot of things to do.
Do you need any testers? Because I think probably have some people in our community that might be interested in checking it out.
Yeah, no, I mean, at the moment not, but like, yeah, sure, we could use it in the future, like soon.
Hmm.
But we have some people to test it. But yeah, sure, like the more the merrier.
I can think of one guy I know who's been trying to get away from Sierra charts and switching to doing everything through TradingView. We got a couple guys who do most of their stuff through TradingView, and if there's a better option
Yeah,
out there, they might be interested in it.
yeah, yeah. No, I think TradingView is great.
Hmm.
Except if you want to heavily use like the DOM and the order
Yeah.
flow and things like that, then maybe not. But I think for a lot of people that will work fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So the plan was like to release April 1st. And I said somewhere, oh, no joke, but it might turn out to be a joke
April Fools.
because we might not be able to make that. So yeah, but I'm very much gonna try. But it might be a couple of weeks later. So yeah,
It's imminent one way or the other.
yes, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming for sure.
There's
Yeah.
no more major obstacles that you have to clear. It should
No,
just
at
be
the at
the.
the moment not.
Yeah.
No, at the moment not. Luckily, yeah, we had plenty. So yeah,
All right. You mentioned Amsterdam a couple times now. Are you from
yeah.
Denmark or are you from somewhere else?
Netherlands. Yeah. So I like not born in Amsterdam, but I lived most of my life in Amsterdam.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's where I studied. It's where I went. Like I moved there when I was 17, and then just stuck around.
Tell me. Tell me.
Enjoyed the city.
Tell me about the city then. Like, how does it compare to? Have you been to the U.S.?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
how? Like, what are some of the major differences besides the rampant drug use in the red light district?
yeah. So that's an area I try to avoid. I'm not a fan of that. I
Yeah.
know a lot of tourists are just go because of that.
Well, I think people just want to see it, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense though. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, I try to avoid that area. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, like. it's still like almost like a village, right? Because
Hmm.
Amsterdam, I think, like, I don't know actually, but I think it's like more more or less like 1 million people, or maybe 900,000. I don't know. Not It's not like super big.
Right.
Actually, I don't know. I'll Google it later, but it's not super big. So it's like I liked it because, like, you can like run into people like randomly, and like when
Yeah.
you're biking around, and yeah, you're just like, oh hey, you here.
Right.
So that's fun. Like, it's nice, and because I studied there, like I had a group of friends there, and like, yeah, they had a lot of good like techno parties there. Like a long time ago. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was good for me. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
What is the deal with absinthe? Why is that? Why is everybody so in love with that drink? I had my mom pick me up a bottle of it last time she was in Amsterdam, and I was not impressed.
Sorry, wait, what?
Absinthe, the drink, the liquor.
Oh man, yeah.
I was not a
I
huge fan
mean,
of that.
no, no, me neither, me neither. But yeah, I mean, I've seen it and probably don't remember the rest. Right. So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, that's been a while though. I currently I don't drink at all, but like at the time I did.
Hmm.
So yeah, there was definitely some interesting drinks over there.
That stuff. I know everyone says it gives you like. There's a big rumor here in the U.S. I remember growing up, everyone
Yeah.
always talked about absinthe. It was the drink that makes you hallucinate, and
Oh yeah.
apparently that's not the case.
Well, that didn't happen to me, luckily.
I
But
I tried it, did not make me I think you have to drink enough to where you're basically just drunk. It's
I
not.
think the way I did it, like you nip it, right? Like you,
Yeah,
how
you're
you call
supposed to
that? Like
like
you.
put like the spoon and then like pour it over like a cube of sugar
Oh,
and like it dissolves in it. Like there's this whole ritual that people do where it's
oh no, we didn't do that. We just
no,
drank it from the
okay.
bottle, but like slowly.
Oh, okay.
I know, yeah,
You're like a high
yeah,
schooler with a 40.
yeah, 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 yeah. Like with my student club, I guess, like something like
So
that.
you kind of travel quite a bit then. I know we got a little bit extra time here. Like what's some of
Yeah,
your favorite
yeah.
places that you've been?
Yeah, so the thing is, because like I with trading, you can like work from anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I did for a while. So yeah, usually in the winters from the Netherlands, because they're cold and rainy.
Yeah.
I usually left, so I just went to like Asia, or like I went a few times to Bali, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, like
I've
a
heard
lot of.
Vietnam is amazing.
It is, yeah, it's very nice.
Hmm.
And I always try to, like, like either surf there or kite surf, and just enjoy it. And but it was interesting though, because like in Asia, the time zone, can be challenging when you're trading the ES. So that was always funny, but yeah, so yeah, I did it. Yeah, but it was nice. And then later also Central America, and
Central America is pretty
um,
too, especially the
yes,
oceans.
yes. Yes, exactly. And I was travel like on a little like winter trip sometimes. So I started in Cuba, then I went to Miami,
Hmm.
Aruba, Curacao, and then I went to Dominican Republic, and then I was like, hey, this is nice. So I stayed there for a year.
Oh,
I didn't go back. I didn't go back. I'm like, yeah.
I
Oh,
guess.
but it was nice, right? So I
Yeah.
was like, I had like a deal with a hotel at the beach. I was like, yeah. So can I stay here long term? So they said like, sure, yeah. So I was just living there, and learning kite surfing there at the time,
Hmm.
and it was just nice, So I was like, yeah, trading there. Wi-Fi was good. Well, not always actually. So it was an island, right?
Yeah.
So I set up a remote server there at the time. So if I would lose connection, that everything would be still running. So I would just log on to the computer, the remote computer,
Hmm.
and everything was good. So because it's sometimes the power dropped,
Oh no.
it was just gone. It was just gone in the whole, like, like, yeah,
Oh.
it's an island. And so that was interesting. But then I found the guy who, like, he had like a generator, so it would stay on sort of.
Hmm.
But mainly I was there just trading from a remote computer, and then just like viewing it from my computer. Because of that, yeah, that was interesting. That
Actually,
was
we have a few guys who trade like that. One of the guys
mm,
that in our group,
yeah,
he has his workstation at home, but then when he's at work,
yeah,
he's remotes in using his phone to place his trades. It's like pretty
yeah,
slick how he's
yeah.
got
That
that
can
set
work.
up.
That can work. Yeah, yeah,
You just got
yeah.
to do all your prep beforehand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know that trading futures on your phone is probably the
It's
the
a bad
sustainable way.
idea.
Yeah.
I tried it, like, Friday night.
Yeah.
Hey guys, see what I can do. Lose money.
Check this out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I remember that. Then I was like clicking around, and before I know, I was down $500. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Maybe
Like,
we'll not do this anymore.
no free beer for me. Yeah, no, yeah, not a bad idea. That's why I kind of like advise against trading from your mobile, right? It's
Yeah.
like normally just a bad idea. Like unless you're like maybe trading like long term or like swing trade or whatever, sure. But if you're just trading futures, nah.
Yeah, I made a rule that only close trades out from the phone. That's the
Yeah,
only thing I do
exactly.
because I've had too many instances where on the phone, like it looks different than the brackets you're used to filling out. Like too many
Yep.
instances of accidentally buying when instead of selling, and then like doubling
Yeah.
my position or
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
No, exactly. I to be honest, one time I was on the beach and I was trading options on oil on my phone. It was nuts. Like
Um,
I'm never gonna do that again. But it was nuts. It was nuts. But I saw the P. Can I tell you numbers or like is it weird? Like
yeah. Well, yeah, you can if you want. It's up to you.
so I was like trading that and I saw the P&L moving like from 2K, 3K, 5K, 7K, and it was like, what the fuck? It was like a matter of like seconds, right? I'm like, Jesus, what the hell? Like, and I'm clicking and it takes a while for the order to hit, right, on your
Right.
mobile. So I'm like, before I know it, it was like changing another 2K. I'm like, what the hell? Like this is like so stressful. But in the end, it was like lucky I made a profit, but it was
Right.
nuts. I'm never gonna do that again. It was totally completely nuts.
That wasn't when
But
oil
yeah,
went
so
below zero, was it?
no, not then. It was
Okay.
before that, but that was also interesting. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was super interesting because all the platforms couldn't handle negative prices, right? So yeah,
Oh, I didn't even think about
yeah,
that.
yeah. That was an issue. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
There were a lot of lawsuits after
Oh, I
that.
bet. So, yeah, I wonder
Yeah.
what happened. We weren't trading during that time, were you?
No, I was trading, but I wasn't trading oil.
Okay.
So
So,
yeah, yeah.
hmm,
So for me, it was okay. But I saw it happening. So I was like, yeah. But I was already at the time just trading, yeah, yes.
yeah.
So I was just not touching it. But I saw it. So yeah.
So it sounds like you've kind of gravitated more towards ES as like being your main asset. Is there any particular
Yeah.
reason why that one, or like why
No,
not
I mean,
NQ or some of the other ones?
yeah. So NQ is a little bit like the DAX. It moves very fast,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes, it does.
it moves. Yeah, and it's not for my personality. It's like not good.
Yeah.
It just stresses me out, and I don't like it. So yeah. So the ES, yeah, that's it.
Fair enough.
So right, and ES is a little bit, well, it can move a lot very fast, of course, but like in most cases, it's just more normal. It's more like, yeah, more flowy, and
Hmm.
of course they still try to hit your stop, but like
Right.
in a nicer way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's fine.
So I don't know. Yeah, I like the flow of it. It's something that I know very very well. Not right. So after almost 15 years, I just know it very well,
Hmm.
and I don't see a reason anymore just to move away from it. To
Right.
be honest. So yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. What else can we touch on while I got you here? What? Let's go back to the kite surfing thing. I heard you mention that twice. What is kite surfing?
Oh, right. So it's like surfing, but like with a kite in your hand, pretty much. Like,
Okay.
well, it's connected to your waist,
Uh-huh.
and basically you're powered by the movement of the kite. So you don't need to like. So
Oh,
you can also do it on flat water. So with
yeah.
surfing, you need a wave, right, to move,
Right.
obviously. But with kite surfing, you could do it like just with the power of the kite. It just pulls you a lot, and you can jump with it, and you can do a lot of things. It's super
So
cool.
when you
Yeah.
say kite, it's probably not like the kite that you take out to the park, the little
No, it's a
triangle
little
thing.
bit bigger.
Okay,
It's a
that's what
little
I
bit
was
bigger. Yeah,
imagining. So this is
yeah.
more like probably like a parachute almost.
I mean, yeah, it's more similar if you look at it to see it like that. Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I think I've seen videos of that where like you can get some
yeah,
really good air with those, right? Like I've seen guys.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I had some high jumps. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
Any big.
When you want it, because sometimes when you hit like a wave and you pull the bar up, you just fly whatever, like even if you don't want to. So yeah, sometimes it's tricky, but yeah, it's very cool.
You ever heard of the paragliding? The people who have like the little motors
Yeah,
attached to the like the
yeah.
parachutes, and then they yeah. I talked to one guy who liked to do that a lot, and he was telling me about some of the updrafts that you can get with those things, and that just
Mm,
sounds terrifying.
I've seen that.
You
I've
catch
seen
a
that. Yeah,
column of air that just shoots you up into the air a couple thousand feet.
crazy, crazy. Yeah.
I'd probably be panicking. That's not
Yeah,
for
most
me.
likely, most likely, yeah. Liquidate.
Yes, exactly. Liquidate my
Yeah,
pants.
yeah, yeah.
uh,
Interesting. Yeah.
all
But
right.
can I ask you something too? Like, what do you
Yeah.
trade? Like, for example.
Well, now it's been mostly Nasdaq, but I've been
Okay.
kind of playing with the idea of going back to ES. That was what I started
Okay.
with. I spent the last 2 years learning. The group that we
Right.
trade with now, most of them trade NQ, so to be on the same page with
Ah.
them, I made the switch too. But
Yeah. 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 Fair enough.
I'm starting to wonder whether it's good for my mentality to have it move as much and as fast as it can. Like I like the
Right.
aspect of like you put a trade on, you're gonna know really quick whether you're right or wrong. Whereas sometimes with ES, like you can sit in one of those trades for 15, 20 minutes before they wick you out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's some like I don't know, I guess that'd just be like it's the mobile phone generation, right? Like
Yeah.
you want everything to happen quickly. I want to know now, 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 now,
Yes.
now, now. And that may
Yes.
not
Exactly.
necessarily be the best thing. That kind of tends to lead to FOMO, revenge trading, and some other things that I don't necessarily like to see in my trading.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Because I've been through them
Hmm.
all the stages, and yeah. So yeah, I guess that's a reason why I don't trade NQ.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just too much for me. But like I said, anything can work from anyone if it just like fits your personality, like fits your emotional awareness, and you know how you deal with that. Yeah, I think a lot of things can work for a lot of different people. But for me personally, yeah, I can still not deal with that. So I just
It's amazing how much the mental side of it plays into things. Like
yeah,
like you said, like knowing what works for you is really what's important, not doing things because other people are
yeah,
doing them. Like, you sat down to
exactly,
trade at the very beginning with your friend who's trading penny stocks. Like, how much of what he
right.
taught you do you still use today?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah,
Okay.
nothing. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. No, yeah, no, yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, true.
Or are there any other big influences in your trading career? Like people that you point to that be like, hey, he made a huge impact on me?
Yeah, I think yes, actually, because I yeah, again, I don't remember how it had happened, but I found like a trading group, like, ooh, when was that? Anyway, it was a group called like IOAMT, like Institute of Auction Market Theory,
Okay.
and it was led by Bill Durrier, and he kind of like because of him, I got more into footprint charts and everything like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, that was it actually. And he was a great guy, and like he had like a trading room every day. I met a lot of people there that I still talk to
Hmm.
to this day. And yeah, so he introduced me to the footprint charts, and he was using market delta. So that's how I came to market delta. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. Yeah, I was trading with him every day, and see him getting out bad trades. He was like really super focused when he was down, and yeah, learn a lot from him. Learn a lot. Yeah, but unfortunately, he passed away a couple years ago. But
Sorry to hear that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But learn a lot from him, and it was very nice. Yeah,
That's you mentioned something there is it's kind of in passing, but like being able to see him in losing trades, I think is huge with whatever group that you're trading with. Like if you really want to
yeah,
see like somebody
yeah,
model good behavior, like that's the person who
yeah.
shows you the good and the bad, I think is key to finding success.
Exactly. No, I agree. I think if someone doesn't show you like losses,
Hmm.
yeah, they're not traders. They're not traders. They should
Right.
no. Right?
It's
Yeah,
gonna
I mean, it's,
happen.
it's such
Yeah.
a it's such a big part of trading, like losing and being able to lose. So yeah, I agree. But it was so interesting to see him because like not always, but he often like was able to get back to it, right? Just so he was so focused. He was just like trading after the close, and we just trading like he was just trading like
Hmm.
in like I don't know till European Open or something if he had to.
Jeez.
So yeah, it was like and not something that I would do, but
Right.
like, but just like a lot of respect like in seeing him doing that. So yeah, it was very interesting. Yeah,
Hopefully he still found time to go and enjoy the proceeds of what he was doing.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well, because that's the other side of it, right? It's so easy to think that or to fall into the trap that you need to be at the desk for as many waking hours as you can to maximize your
yeah,
income. But at some point, you got to decouple from that. You got to actually go and enjoy the fruits of your labors.
yeah. I very much agree with that. I don't trade every day anymore.
Hmm.
I just don't see the need anymore. I like playing. I like playing tennis, paddle. I like to surf, kite surf.
Hmm.
And if it's windy and it's a good day and sunny, I just go kite surfing, and say like, yeah, there's always another trade. But
Yeah.
that's the thing, right? There is always another trade. So even if you miss out on an amazing day, and well, you might have even lost, but let's say you thought you would win big, there's always another trade. So and there's no exception. There's always another trade
Yep.
every day, and every time. There's always another trade. So I don't have that FOMO anymore. What I used to have in the beginning. Yeah, I really don't have that anymore.
What was there anything in particular that helped you get over that? Do you think?
Yeah, not sleeping, I guess. Yeah, because I used to like sometimes have positions like overnight,
Yeah.
and it just kept me up. I was always checking my phone on the quote, like what it was doing, and I was like, yeah, this is not the way I want to do this. Like, so it's not healthy,
If you can't sleep at night, usually that's a sign of the size is too much,
right?
right?
Yeah, that too. That too. Yeah, that too. But I think even with a one lot, I would look. But yeah,
Right. I
but
know I would.
yeah,
Yeah, I have to when I shut off from the day, like I close everything out. I'm not looking at charts anymore. I need
yeah,
I need the time completely away. I can't be one of those guys that let's just see what it's doing right now because otherwise I'll do something silly.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, it's usually what happens then.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, got anything else that you want to leave the listeners with? Any words of wisdom? Any final advice, maybe?
I mean, yeah, yeah. Well, you start small. Start with Sims. Start small, and don't get ahead of yourself. Like you have time to learn this. It's not something that you're gonna learn in a month or two. It's like how you call that? Like it's a real craft.
Yeah.
I think at least. So take your time. Like, don't beat yourself up if you're not profitable after 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're after a year be able to like make it to break even, I think you're doing pretty good. I think you're doing pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's about where I'm at. I'm at a break-even trader right now, trying to get past that
Ah,
hump.
okay. Okay. Yeah.
I had something I just was going to ask you. Oh, yeah, that's it. You've talked a lot about the footprint. Like, if somebody wants to learn the footprint, like, what are some like tips you can give them? Like what sort of things should they be watching for? How should
Mm.
they try to incorporate that into their trading?
Yeah, that's interesting because there's not a lot of things that I have looked at the time, but I think, like I said, I don't look much on YouTube about the things, but I think there are some videos on YouTube about footprint. But
Well, even if they just wanted to build a chart and observe it, like what sort of things should like they pay
oh,
attention for?
well, yeah. So the thing is that with looking at footprint, I use like reversal bars. So I don't use any time based bars,
Mm-hmm.
because with reversal bars,
So like Renko.
no, it's actual reversal bars, and I don't think every platform has it,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, we do obviously. So it's similar to Renko, but not really. So it makes a new bar only when the amount is set of ticks is going against the high or low of the bar. So
Mm-hmm.
that means that you reduce a lot of noise. Like if you look at the 3 minute chart or whatever you use, you have a lot of noise by time. Just by time passing.
Yeah.
And because if you look at footprint charts, you want to see the volume, and you want to see like how like the bell curves. You want to see that happening in the footprint, but then vertical, right? and
Mm-hmm.
and you don't really see that good or that clear if you use time-based bars, in my opinion. so
Okay.
so that's why I solely use reversal bars for looking at footprint. But like I said, like for longer term, I look at like RTH ETA sessions, just for volume profile.
Volume profiles. One of my favorites. Looking for those ledges and LVNs.
Right? Yeah, it's super good because
Yep.
like that's the thing. Like it's just like it's so logical, right? Because it's based on actual data, and
Mm-hmm.
and if it's an HVN, like high volume area, it means that a lot of people want to trade there. So it's an attractive
Right.
price. It's just logic. And if it's an LVN like low volume, then it means that no one thought that price was interesting, right? So they skipped it.
Right.
So you have a high probability if you're trading near like an LVN, if you want to look for an entry. And of course, it will not always work because it might just be at that time trying to make a new balance area and just blow through it. Sure, that happens
Right.
because it's not going to always stay in that zone, in that range. But in general, you have a good chance because like it proved itself already that that price was not interesting for most of the people, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what I like so much about it, right? Because it's like it's logical, and to me it makes sense. And yeah, it's just something that I trust, so to say. Because if I look at
Yeah.
RSI or MACD, I'm like, yeah, what is this? I mean, come
Get
on.
out of here.
Yeah, right. I
Kick you
mean,
off this channel.
yeah,
I'm just kidding.
right. So no, it's just like, I mean, like, I'm not saying that it cannot work. I think it can work for some people.
Yeah,
It just, for me, it makes no sense. So I cannot look at it. So,
yeah.
but yeah, that's why I look at that order flow stuff. Yeah.
Well, Niels, I gotta say, I really enjoyed getting to know you here. And I got to say
Likewise.
thanks to your buddy who set this up.
Yeah, Daniel. Yeah, yeah.
Dan,
Very nice.
okay. What we should do, I think, is once you guys are ready to go live, maybe
Mhm.
we can set up a demo in our Discord where we can have you come in, just kind of like walk through how the platform works and maybe take some questions from anybody who's interested.
Yeah, yeah. That would be amazing, of course. Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, keep checking on the website then. I assume you guys will have something on your socials or something letting people know when the actual live
Yeah,
date's going to be.
yeah, yeah, yeah. For
I'll
sure.
make sure that I put something in the episode description if you give us a more of a firm date once you got one.
Yeah, sounds good.
But I think it is time to wrap up for today. But that's okay, because if you enjoyed today's conversation, you still want more, you can always check out that guest directory. You can browse through all the amazing people we've had the pleasure of speaking with in the past. And if you'd like to learn more about Niels and the platform that he developed, go to tradrr.com, Tradrr. No E's allowed here. I'll be
Exactly.
sure to include all those links in the episode description, just waiting for you to click on them. And I'll be back soon with another exciting episode. But till then, if you got something useful out of this discussion, then rate us, tell your friends, and have a great day. This podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial or investment advice and should not be construed as such. The hosts, guests, and contributors of this podcast are not licensed financial advisors, brokers, or professionals. Any trading or investment decisions made based on the content of this podcast are solely at the listener's discretion and risk. Trading and investing in financial markets carry inherent risks, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Listeners should conduct their own research and seek advice from qualified financial professionals before making any financial decisions. The views, opinions, and information shared in this podcast are those of the individual contributors and do not necessarily reflect the views or policies of the podcast creators or associated organizations. Produced by China Shop Productions.